episode 89 of the podcast. In the first part, we'll talk about working as a team and helping dogs win. In the second part, we'll talk about calming dogs if they become frightened and how to communicate that to our owners. You're listening to the Creating Great Grooming Dogs podcast. I'm Chrissy Newmeyer-Smith. I'm a certified professional groomer, a certified behavior consultant for canines, a certified professional dog trainer, and the owner of Happy Critters in Nashua, New Hampshire. And this, my friends and colleagues, is the podcast where grooming and training meet. We want the dogs to win. Now, I talked about this in the last episode, and that was episode 88, and I think that we need to discuss this point even more. So many of us have been taught we can't let him win, or we can't let her feel like she's winning. Have you heard that? Be honest with yourselves. Have you said that? And I really want you to think about it, because I want you to be ready to open your mind to a new point of view. So the new point of view is we need to partner up with the dogs in our care. Because we're a team. We aren't enemies. We aren't adversaries. We aren't trying to force the dog into something they don't want to do, thus making them an enemy. They're not winning when they aren't letting us care for them, right? We need to get out of that mindset and start to be a partner. We want dogs to know how to behave. We want them to, so we teach it. We want dogs to be good, so we encourage calm, comfortable, and cooperative. Right? What we want and what we need is a dog who is cooperating with us, who's on our side. We are on the same team. So when we see a behavior issue or a behavior problem, what we're seeing is a dog who is having difficulty, a dog who's scared or frustrated or perhaps physically uncomfortable. They aren't winning when they give us a hard time, right? They're not out trying to make our day hard. Right? They're actually not even trying to give us a hard time. When they are showing us a behavior we don't want, they're not winning because we're not adversaries. We're not enemies. We're not on opposite teams. We're on the same team, right? They're having trouble, and we as teammates need to guide them back to what we're doing. So I want you to start seeing that issue as scared or frustrated or perhaps physically uncomfortable, which could be a sore or an injury. It could be an ear infection. It could just be a dog who isn't built very well and doesn't stand for a long time very well. God knows we have a lot of dogs with a lot of joint problems. So I want you to start thinking that they aren't winning when we can't care for them, when we can't care for them appropriately. That's not a dog who is winning over us, right? We're not showing them who's boss when we force them into it. We're not winning either. When we force a dog to do something that's terrifying them, we haven't won, because cooperation is winning. Teamwork is winning. Now, when we calm them down and help them to be accepting of us and what we need to help to do to care for them, that's winning. We all win because we're a team. So when we all pass or fail together, we're all winning or losing together. So a true win is when the dog and the person or people, in a vet example, it could be more than one person, sure, but when we all together as a group communicate to a dog what needs to be done, have a dog that can cooperate with us and get the thing done cooperatively, right? That's winning. That's the win. Not when we get it done anyway. He doesn't need an attitude adjustment. He needs some help. It's a different mindset, a very different mindset. And I want you to be thinking back to, times when you've been told, oh, don't let him think he can get away with that. There's some truth to that. However, I'm trying to build a new outlook for you guys, a new outlook that says, why is he acting like that? And what can I do to teach him the way I want him to act? Like, why is he doing it? Not just he's doing it. Why? Why? Let's find out why. Is it the sound that bothers him? Is he worried about his feet slipping around in the tub? Can a simple mat make this dog be good in the tub? That's an example of finding a discomfort and making them comfortable, right? Is it because the dog is frightened? Is it because this dog has no experience, right? But we have the bigger brain, right? Or allegedly. We're listening to podcasts and talking to other professionals, and dogs don't. Dogs aren't on a podcast about how to fight with groomers. So, right, we need to come up with solutions. And if we're in a solution set state of mind, then I also want us to be thinking we're team together. The dog is the teammate, and I'm the guide. So if we imagine grooming as a dog sport, which I've done before, partly just kind of think about the things that we do with dogs in a grooming setting. But in this case, imagine it as a dog sport where we're being scored by working together. Haha, wait a minute, what? Yeah, imagine someone's there scoring for, good, they both liked that, great. Oh, they're both doing fine here, good, because that's what I want you to start thinking. Yeah, the dog that's doing well is winning. Woohoo! And we're winning too. Now, another example from a dog sport point of view. When I'm doing heel work with one of my dogs, we're a team, but I'm in the decision-making role. And to parallel that to grooming, right? We're a team, but I'm the one making the decisions. I'm the one calling the shots. So in heel work or obedience, or we've done rally with my guys, and actually my last dog too, just a little bit of rally obedience, which is fun. But I as the handler, choose where we're going to go and what position changes we're doing. My dog isn't losing to me when he heels beside me, right? And if he messes up, that's not because he's trying to take over. If he makes a mistake, it's because he made a mistake. If I make a mistake, it's not because I'm a control freak. It's because I made a mistake, right? Mistakes are going to happen. Mistakes happen a lot. And actually, if you've done dog sports, you'll know, we're both sides of that has made mistakes. To give you an example, for the longest time when I was doing a left-hand turn heeling, I just kept looking down at one of my dogs, and he was messing up, and then I realized he's looking to me to figure out where we're going, and I'm not looking where we're going. I'm looking at him. Problem solved just by where I was looking. I wasn't being defiant. I just didn't get it right. I was mistaken. I was doing something that works for my other dog and doesn't work for this one. So when we're talking about being in the lead, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm the one in charge. I'm the alpha, whatever that means, or I'm dominant. No, it just means I'm the one making decisions right now, and the dog is my partner. But we are still a team. Go team! All right? And we're scored together. So a good healing combination, a human and a dog who are healing together, that's really beautiful to watch. And honestly, when I watch grooming competitions and stuff, that's one of the things I'm looking at. Is this dog just totally chill while this person's working on them? Do they just go with the flow? Are they both really just settling into this grooming process? Right? It's a really beautiful thing to watch. Now, another example of a sport. So I do flyball with my guys, and flyball is almost like a dog relay race. So there are 2 teams, 4 dogs on each team. And then the first dogs, there's drag racing lights and a judge, but the first dogs get sent over 4 jumps, hit the trigger box, get the ball, carry the ball back over 4 jumps. And then the second dogs go, third dogs go, fourth dogs go. And they're scored for best team time. And then they get rounded up again, because usually they race that 3 to 5 times to figure out who won the race. So that's the first heat, 3 to 5 heats. They run the course 3 to 5 times to figure out who won that race. And then that racing is done 3 or 4 times per day for a 2-day weekend. It's a lot. And the dogs are loose. I mean, we're sending them, but once I let go, right, I have to trust that my dog is going to follow the course in a room where he could get loose. In a room where he literally is loose, but I mean, certainly the gates aren't keeping him in either. Running full speed past dogs who are running full speed toward him. Right? So think about the partnership involved with that type of a dog sport. He's trusting me that I've brought him to a safe environment. That if another dog comes out and chases him, he can come back to me and there's no problem if he didn't get the ball, right? There are lots of things that are trust games as part of dog sports. And when we take that into the grooming room and start thinking, I need to teach this dog what I need from him, as if we were being scored in a dog sport. This dog is my teammate. Go team, right? Get to know him. Oh my goodness, get to know him. At least spend a little bit of time saying, hi, sweetie. Check in with him once in a while. Look at his face. What color are his eyes? That's a great way to know if you're making eye contact and if you're exploring somebody else's face. I heard that with people at one point. Figure out, make a conscious effort to find out what everyone's eye color is, to observe eye color. And you'll find that you're making more eye contact. But anyway, when we think about our dogs, check in with them. They're your teammate. And you know what? A good team captain can make a good teammate. So sometimes a dog that hasn't been great for somebody else will be great for a different groomer, right? Just because the switch up, just because that team captain makes more sense. That healing partner, that flyball partner, that grooming partner. So when I'm grooming and I need my doggy buddy to be a posable action figure, I need my doggy buddy, my partner, to allow me to touch them all over with a variety of stuff and things. We work together, we improve together, and ultimately we win together. So let the dogs win. If you're enjoying this podcast, please remember to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes, and tell all of your friends. What do we do if a dog gets scared? So this is coming directly out of my work week this week. One of my customers, longtime customer, and I do nails and brush outs on her Pomeranians. Her daughter-in-law was there with a puppy, and I was talking to her about, well, let's just see about getting nails done. And the puppy got scared. So I held on to the puppy to calm the puppy down. No, she held on to the puppy, right? So what we need to do is when we're getting a dog back to being calm with us, right? So this owner was like, oh, I think he's done, and then tried to take him back to calm him down. And I'm like, oh, I need to calm him down again. And for me, this is a hard pass. This is a no. You're going to have to pry that dog out of my hands, because from my point of view, I want him to calm down in my hands. I want to restore that feeling of safety with the person doing the thing, right? I'm trying to help this dog feel safe and maintain any trust that we've built by calming them down in my hands. That might be picking him up off the table and putting him in my arms. That might be calming him down on the table. That might be putting the clippers down or whatever tool I might be using and just helping him relax into my hands. But I'm going to use my hands to calm the dog down. I want to end anything with a dog feeling safe and feeling like they can trust me. Now, I know that that's really hard for an owner to do. It's really hard for an owner. It's a tough sell. And I watched her face it boggled her mind, like, what am I supposed to do? This woman won't let go of my dog. Right? So let's talk a little bit about this, because I'm sure we've all been in this situation. Gentle, loving, and patient handling isn't something your puppy needs to be saved from. Right? That's one of the things I'll tell people before we have an issue. But once an issue comes up, there's some owners who are super, super protective of their puppies, right? They're just so protective. Whew, but relax. This is gentle, loving handling, right? If your dog becomes frightened, I'm going to calm him down. At any age, but certainly with a puppy, but at any age, I'm going to calm him down again. Like, dude, hey, relax. This isn't the end of the world. Calm him down in my hands. So I'm going to tell you honestly, and I know this is unprofessional, but it is what it is. I'm going to tell you this to you guys so that you can relate to it and we have a plan. So let's plan ahead for that unprofessional, I got offended. Because there's just a point where I get a little offended if someone insists. Because I just can't help but think, are you really saying that I'm the bad guy here? So you brought your dog willingly to me so that I can be the bad guy? And then when I'm the bad guy, I do something the dog doesn't like. It's, oh, come here, precious. You know, it just makes you want to smack somebody. And, you know, I really can't help but think like, oh, it gets to me. Like, how dare you just turn me into the bad guy? And it almost comes out of my mouth once in a while, but you know what? It doesn't. Because we need to have a plan in our head ahead of time. These owners are struggling with watching us calm their dog down. Owners struggle with that. Of course they do. But if we remind them, this is gentle, loving handling. I put the tool down and I am now starting to calm your dog for you. Right? So that's one of the ways that I communicate that idea. I'm restoring a feeling of safety and trust. Right? Everything about my voice and my body language is like, oh, sweet puppy, you're all right. And I say puppy for the adult dogs too. Like, but just, you know, hey, little guy, little buddy, you're okay. Let's relax with me for a few minutes. Let's get you back to calm. And I will say those words to help an owner understand what I'm doing. Because it's not, no, you stop. Don't be a brat, right? That's entirely different. That's not calming a dog down. That's part of what I was talking about with the fighting and the winning. It's like, who's going to win? No, this is about calming them down. Hey, gentle, loving handling. And I also want you to remember that it's hard for owners to sit back and watch someone else calm their dog down. But, and here's the big, big, big but in that, they put their dog in your professional hands for a reason. All right? And their dog is going to need to have a few people outside of the home that they have been around and can trust and feel comfortable with. It's good for a dog to have a couple other people that they have learned to be good for. And maybe their vet someday is going to be a stranger. Maybe they're traveling and they need to see a vet that they've never seen, or a groomer that they've never seen, or some stranger is going to have to help that dog. But at least that dog has expanded their worldview to include a couple of human beings who are not part of their home, right? It's a really important thing. And I'll tell you, my own dogs, I make sure that they are comfortable with other people, whether they came to me that way or not. Now, I will tell you, one of my guys, Brock loves people. Person could do all sorts of things to him. He'd be like, okay, this is fun. Poe came to me not really knowing why anyone would pet a dog beyond their head or neck. Like, why would you touch a dog near his tail? You know, like he just didn't have any experience with that. He had no idea what that was about. And the dog before them, Isa, she was a nervous Nelly. She was like, oh, I don't know. Why are you here? You're not my person. But each of them had a different background and needed to learn how to be comfortable with other people, even if I'm the one who's going to usually do stuff. And I made sure that they knew that. They had to be good for other people. Now, flyball, since I mentioned it in the last segment, flyball is a team sport, literally a team. The dogs are playing with on teams with other dogs, but also we as handlers, as a flyball club, are working with each other's dogs. There's something called a restrained recall, where someone holds your dog while you run and call them over the jumps. There are some things that you cannot do by yourself. Like, we're passing dogs back and forth to each other on a pretty regular basis, and my dogs need to be safe in the hands of other humans. It's very important to me, and it's very important, I think, for most dogs. I know that there's some protection work stuff where they don't teach dogs that, and I know that there are times where, like, service dogs will be taught only in specific circumstances to be handled by other people for various reasons, but the average pet should know how to be handled by other people. So if they become worried, we need to, like, hey, whoa, put down the tool or whatever it is and help them calm down again. And it really is that simple. Help them calm down again. And if we word it to our owners and not take offense, even though it's the knee-jerk reaction, especially when an owner is like kind of almost panicking and thinking they're going to pull the dog away from you. Like, we're just restoring safety and trust. I need him to trust me and feel safe because this is gentle, loving, kind, patient handling. And they look at you and you say it in that voice and they look at you and they're like, okay, they take a couple slow, deep breaths. Like, no, she's not hurting my dog. Why am I being so irrational? Because he's your puppy. Because he's your dog and you're being overprotective, right? And relax. As the professional, we need to be prepared for that and to be able to just kind of go, all right, just everybody relax. If somebody really insists, it's also a hard pass for me. I'm like, well, I'm not going to continue. But what about doing the rest of his nails? Nope, I'm sorry. Unless you're able to work with me on me teaching him that he can trust me, I'm not your groomer. And I've done that with a couple people. They're like, well, but he trusts me. And, well, let's just hold him down then. I'm like, no, a second ago, you weren't going to let me calm him down in my hands. Like, we need to be on the same page for this to work. Because you know what? Here's a tough one. And I know some groomers have trouble with this. And sometimes trainers have trouble with this too. Take a deep breath. Your business will be so much more enjoyable and safe for you if the dogs you're working on are owned by people who are on board. Even if that dog is a hard time, even if that dog is difficult, even if you're still working that dog through stuff, if those owners are on board, your job is better. Professionally, you're going to feel better. You're safer. You don't have to press boundaries, right? It's okay to fire people. It's okay to tell somebody, I'm not your groomer or I'm not your trainer. We do it for price points, but we don't do it for behavior. It's silly to me. So I want you to think about helping a dog calm down when they get scared is part of our job, right? I mean, we want them to trust us. So if they're getting scared, it happens, right? When it happens, they flip the switch to scared. We need to flip the switch back to calm, comfortable, and cooperative. Think about it like a switch. All right, maybe more of a dial. They dial it up to 11 in the fear scale, like we want to calm them down again. We want to lower that. We want to flip the switch back before we proceed, right? Calm, comfortable, and cooperative. Because dogs who are scared or frustrated or nervous or uncomfortable, those are unwanted behaviors that are going to start cropping up. And what do we know about behavior problems? Unwanted behaviors are when dogs get hurt, people get hurt, equipment gets broken. It's simply good business to build a feeling of safety and trust with each dog. If you'd like more information, you can find me at Chrissy@happycritters.net, happycrittersdogtraining.com, or you can join the Facebook group, Creating Great Grooming Dogs podcast, or the Facebook page, Creating Great Grooming Dogs. I really look forward to hearing from you.